Hey guys, this is Velocity Reaper here, and we are back again with some more Fortnite. But today's video, as you guys can tell by the title, is a little bit different. Today I want to talk about how I personally got better as a player in Fortnite, and what you guys can do to kind of try and change your playstyle, and also adapt and evolve your playstyle. So first of all, I'm going to start off with my first point, because I have a lot of points to talk about, so we're going to get right into it. First point I have here is watch other players. Now, for me personally, I didn't start playing this game until well after it was popular, and before that I was watching streamers like Noah J and Avery before I knew about Ninja a little bit later on. But those two were huge for me in terms of just kind of learning and seeing what the mechanics of the game are like and see if it's a game that I'm actually interested in. So that was the first thing that I did personally as a player. And then I picked up tips from Ninja, things that he did in his gameplays. Now, I don't watch a whole lot of Ninja. I'm not a Ninja fanboy or anything like that. He's an incredible player and a really cool guy, but I don't want to, really talk about that right now. I'm just going to talk about one specific moment that I had where I was watching one of his streams and he was using the grenade launcher. I think he was playing with Drake at the time. And he was saying how if you can get the grenade launcher to bounce off of your ramp, you can get it at a shorter distance and it will explode obviously sooner, and then you'll be able to get the kill a lot sooner. So that's like one small tip that I could pick up from him and use it in my own gameplay. It's not like I need to adapt his playstyle because he's an incredible player. I can never play like him. However, those little things that you can nitpick out of different people's streams that you think that you could try, I definitely suggest doing that. Number two, I'd say for me, was playtime, guys. I played this game a lot. I have over 36 hours and well over 100 wins in this game overall. A ton in squads, a couple in duos, and a couple solos. Obviously, you guys have seen all the solo ones on the channel and some of the duo ones as well. But I definitely have clocked a lot of playtime, and overall, any game that you play, you will obviously get better as you go along. So just generally playing a lot of the game and just learning and evolving and kind of analyzing your end game strategies, your mid game strategies and stuff like that is going to be huge thing. So definitely playtime, I think, is up there with one of the better things that I did as a player personally to get better at this game. Number three is learning your playstyle. Actually, that kind of ties into the next couple points. Actually kind of tie into each other. But number three, learning your playstyle is just figure out if you are a confident rusher or are you a passive pusher with your teammates. If you want to do it that way, you kind of need to know your playstyle, because that helps you know your limit, which is my next point. Number four is, again, know your limit. You don't want to rush into situations if you're not prepared to go into them. Obviously, you need to be hyper aware in this game, which is one of my later points as well. Everything kind of ties in here. It's all kind of like one big point, but all smaller points that I want to point out. I definitely suggest kind of being hyper aware in this game. You need to notice small things like what items your enemies are grabbing. If you see a scar on top of a building, Trump Towers, let's say, which is the big gray building in Tilted Towers. Say you see one of the enemy teams pick up a scar, then you need to let your teammates know of that someone does have a scar, and then that way they know that someone on the map or someone near them has a scar. They need to be aware of that, because scars in the early game are very big. They 70 for a headshot, you're dead in 2 shots very quickly. So you want to let your teammates know that. You also want to know where the enemies are and how many of them are landing. You need to know these kind of things when you're landing beforehand. And I usually always call out, we got 2 teams here, 3 teams here, I see a few people here, and that's just like general play stuff, but if that's not something that you're doing now, you need to start doing that, because I promise you it's going to start to help your squad and in your solo play and even in your duos play, if you know how many teams are around you and how many enemies are in your area. And that also ties into my point number 5, which is communication, guys. Communication is huge. Now, I do personally callouts that I picked up from Avery and from Noah J and from Ninja. They all do this, is they call out what their shot hits for. So say you hit blue 21, obviously I'm saying that person has shields. I just hit him for 21 damage. You hit him again and you get white 21. You can call out no shields on top of that. So you have 3 call outs right in that few couple seconds. You say blue 21, white 21, no shields, and then boom, your teammate knows that, and you can go ahead and push the situation a lot better, and you could be a lot more aggressive in general. And then also just like assistive things, you want to know how many teammates are there, how many people are there. And obviously when you're in a squad, you have 4 sets of eyes. okay? Think about that. You have 4 sets of eyes. That means that 4 of you can look in different directions, obviously, while you're fighting one team, but you all don't need to be focusing on the exact same people. Personally, what I like to do is when 2 or 3 of my teammates are fighting, I want to keep an eye out on what's happening around us. Because obviously, when people start hearing shooting, and you know you do this too, trust me, I know you're smiling right now because I know you do it too, is that you will head towards that action or in that general area because you want to see if you can do cleanup work. So obviously, there's going to be another team that's going to come eventually looking to do cleanup work and take your squad out. So you want to be aware of where they're coming from and definitely call that out to your teammates once you're done facing the first people, or if you guys need to kind of like fight the 2 teams at the same time and work your way around that situation, or if you just need to escape in general, you know, launch pads or anything like that, those things need to be communicated. So communication is definitely up there in the top couple of things that you guys need to do personally, and what I did personally to get better at the game. Number 6, guys, is listening. Now, I know that not everyone has the best headset. Personally, I use Astros, and they're like a $200 headset, so I hear everything. That's why usually in my gameplays, I am tweaking out about what I'm hearing. I hear multiple people, I hear footsteps, I hear, you know, sounds of the crickets and stuff like that, and it's still just small stuff like that that really just freaks me out. But being hyper aware, again, is an important part of this, and listening, I think, is huge. Now, I will leave a link down in the description below for a $40 set of headsets that are Turtle Beaches that are really good, $40 or $60, somewhere in that range. Really good for Fortnite. My roommate uses them and they are great for him as well, so I'll leave that down in the description below. That's not too expensive and they work really well for the game as well. And then moving on into number 7, which is going to be reasons to get better. Personally, my personal reason to get better for you guys obviously was for the content, no doubt. I wanted to get better. I wanted to get better at the game, and in all aspects I wanted to get better. And so you need to give yourself a reason to get better, whether it be, you know, I want to be more supportive to my teammates. I want to, you know, help them in different situations. I want to do this differently. You know, you need to have really a reason to get better. You can't just say, I want to get better just to get better. No, you have to have, personally, I think you have to have a legitimate reason so that you can kind of set goals for yourself as you go along here. And then moving into my last point here is hyper awareness, guys. So one of the things that I've practiced a lot in this game that I've become very keen to is hyper awareness. You need to be aware of every single sound in this game, guys. Every shot, every build sound, every footstep that you hear is obviously an enemy, or it could be your teammates, obviously, but most of the time it's your enemies. It's pretty distinct to tell the difference. And just for one quick second here, boys, I want you guys looking at this video right now. Look at me outplay this guy. He impulses me and then spike trap. Boom, take that. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Hyper awareness, I think, is huge in this game. You need to kind of analyze every little situation, and I'm not talking about sit there for 20-30 seconds and say, oh, there's one person in my building, 2 people in my building. No, you need to make these kind of decisions very quickly as you're going along, because decisions like that will help your teammates get to you. I'm most of the time I'm in tilted, so I'm gonna give you guys examples. Obviously, most of the time I'm in tilted. In my building specifically, I can have a full team land with me. Usually one teammate goes with me. That would be my roommate Energy. You guys have seen him in gameplays. He'll usually come with me. Now we are very aware of how many people are gonna land at our building. Usually, if you land balcony, you know who's gonna land roof. You'll know who's gonna land balcony, and you know who's going bottom. So you'll have people who are gonna run for the gun, but they can't get the gun, so they'll jump to the bottom. That way, you know one person is their building. Then you know one person's on the roof grabbing the weapon up there. So you and your teammate are aware of at least 2 people at your building, and that you know you need to get after, that you know you need to get a weapon to take out. Those small kind of things to call out also is huge. And most of the time at the start of the match, if you see that your teammate's health is dropping, or if they're like, oh boy, there's a lot of people here, then you ask them very quickly, do you need help? Because if you're capable of helping them, if you have a weapon, then go over there and help them for sure, because that's just another squad that you can take out at the beginning. If you're more prepared to help your teammate, go and do it. I promise you it pays off. You might die in between that, you might die trying to get over to him, maybe, but usually that doesn't happen, especially in early game. People are too busy looting. You can usually go over there and help your teammate out really quickly. So guys, I'm going to go through all those points one more time just so you guys know. So number 1 was watching other players. 2 was playtime. 3 was learning your play style. 4, know your limit. 5, communication. 6, listening. 7, reason to get better, and 8 was hyper awareness, guys. So those are the kind of things that I changed in my gameplay style. to help me become a better player at the game overall. And I hope some of those things help you guys to kind of think of what you're doing differently, but definitely take a second to analyze what you're doing wrong in your gameplay. If it's late game stuff, if you're not building, if it's small things like that, then definitely just analyze those kind of things and see where you can work on areas, because this game I think you could develop very largely, very easily, and you guys can clearly see that from our first video of getting Boogie Mom to where we are now. You know, in this gameplay we've already picked up 7 kills and we're doing really well in this match. We're playing aggressive and stuff like that, and that's just a small thing that you guys, you know, can notice in your gameplay, and you can kind of see how you can work around that playstyle. Obviously, an aggressive rusher like myself, I try and play a little bit more aggressive when I have shields and a lot of health. I don't play aggressive when I'm not prepared to. So kind of analyze those small things like that to really help you change your game up. So if you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you guys use some of these tips, make sure to leave a like, sub up, share around, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.